when we are teaching our dogs a behavior, there are two main steps to teaching that behavior. There's first laying the foundation, meaning we teach them what the behavior is, we teach them the expectation, we teach them what the word means. Dogs do not speak English. We need to teach them what the English cues mean, or whatever language you use. My dog at present is being trained in Spanish so that she can be bilingual, because why not? So Hudson has learned that a place cue means I need to lay myself down on this visual place marker, in this case a blanket, until further notice. That's the first step in teaching. The way that we did that is anytime he got close to that blanket, I would click and treat. Once forepaws were on the blanket, click and treat. From there, led him into a DOWN, which he previously knew, clicked and marked the moment that he was in that DOWN, and then repeated that ad nauseum. From there, as he would hit the shape, meaning he put himself in the DOWN on that PLACE marker. I don't want to water down these cues, that's why I'm spelling them. I don't want him to be confused with what I'm asking for here. As he would hit that PLACE cue, I would put the word to it as he hit it. So let me show you just as an example, and again, knowing like he already knows this, right? Hudson, hey free, go fine. Good, good. Now if we were just teaching it, it would be Hudson late. Good. As he's hitting the cue, we're naming it so he can make that connection, okay? Now the second part of your training, good boy, in any cue is doing what we call proofing. Because it's one thing for them to understand what that cue means, but if they're not able to maintain it around distractions, if they're not able to maintain it for a duration of time, if they're not able to maintain it when we walk a distance away, then it's not really practical, let's say. It's not helpful for real world use. So for example, what we're working on here, and this is where all dogs struggle, is the proofing skills, the duration, distance, distraction of proofing. Hudson is learning how to proof his skills around a variety of distractions. For context, we're at the Southwest waterfront, we're at the wharf, there's landscapers behind the camera, there's people, there's dogs, there's kids running. It's a whole bunch of activity because it's a really beautiful day out, really, really nice day. And so lots of opportunity, good boy, to proof our skills. So the way that we do that is, you'll notice that I have not once said S-T-A-Y. The reason for that is the way in which we teach a cue is it doesn't require that. Meaning, place means place until further notice. Same for any other cue. SIT means SIT until further notice. The reason for that is it's less work for the human. You don't have to be saying stay, 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 stay. Instead, we teach what we call implied stay. The way that we do that is what you're seeing here. I'm reinforcing him as he maintains it so that he understands this is the expectation. Now, what happens if I walk away and he goofs it up? Now, I didn't tell him to move, so to his credit, he figured it out really quickly. He turned himself around, he put himself right back down, right? So I'm gonna click and mark that. That said, if he hadn't figured that out, if he had gone, he's trying to watch me, that's why he's so funny. Good boy. If he had walked away and gotten really distracted, what I'm gonna do to teach that implied stay is simply lead him back and go back to this exercise of marking and rewarding him while he maintains the cue for a duration of time around distraction. To build this up, to proof the skill further, we're just doing it around, good boy, more distractions. We're adding gradually more challenges. So for example, if I move away, that's a little bit harder, right? If I step up on the stair where the camera is, I move away from him, that's changing the context. If I sit down, all of these things are going to, yes, add challenge for him, because dogs don't generalize well. Very important to remember this. Dogs do not generalize well. This is why you will see a dog who behaves inside one way and then outside very differently. This is why proofing their skills is so important, because very often, just as an example, let's say that I taught him the PLACEQ here and we never ever practiced it anywhere in any other context. Very, very likely that he'll be able to do it here and be successful, but that he won't be able to do it elsewhere because I haven't given him the opportunity to learn that PLACE means PLACE, regardless of if I'm moving around his goal line, regardless if landscapers show up or friends or whatever else, right? We add the challenge very slowly. Adding challenge includes our movement, our interaction with them, but then also all of those environmental cues. So it's very important to know for context, Hudson has been doing this for a minute. And when I say a minute, I mean like over a year, easily, maybe a couple of years, quite frankly. This is a refresher for him because admittedly, we haven't been doing a lot of it. We've been working on other things. So it's beautiful weather. It's about to be patio season. We want to make sure that these skills are really fresh so that him and his mom can go brunch all over the city. Good boy, very good. Or they can sit on a patio with a beverage. Good boy, and it doesn't matter who's around or what friends walk by. Good, or if his mom goes to throw something to the trash. We want him to understand PLACE until further notice. Very good, very good. Good boy, okay, be free. Now, some tips. When you're teaching your dog this and you're working on the proofing, the skills in particular, if your dog gets frustrated by having to maintain that, start with really, really short intervals to make them successful. Again, he's been doing this for a really long time. He knows that he gets paid for being on the map. So for him, it's very easy for him. He's very well incentivized already to understand that it pays to be there. For a lot of dogs with big feelings or poor impulse control that don't understand that the reward, the juice is worth the squeeze, so to speak, they might struggle with this. And so in order to set them up for success, what you're gonna do is you're gonna lead them to the place cue, get them in it, click and reward, and then release them. Make sure that every time you allow them off of the mat, you're communicating really, really clearly, because that comes back to that implied stay that we were talking about. If I'm not super clear with him about when it's okay to, Hudson, be free, go find, good. Be free being his release cue, go find indicating, hey, go find that snack that I just threw for you. Now he's gonna put himself back there because he knows that usually works out pretty well for him. And that shows that I've done a really good job in conditioning this skill with him, right? In communicating to him very, very, very clearly why it's a good idea for him to do that skill. Now, as he translates this into brunch with his mom, okay, as we evolve this skill, she's gonna be sitting, she's gonna be doing her thing. Good boy, nice, Hudson, nice. And so the rate of reinforcement will be lengthened out a little bit. You want to base your rate of reinforcement off of the amount of challenge in the moment. So that includes what's going on in the environment, what noises, what friends, where are they, etc. Highly advisable to put them in a spot that sets them up for success, where they're not likely to be stepped on or messed with or interacted with. So for example, I'm pretty sure you can see we're in a corner. I positioned the table in a way that creates some space for us. So the likelihood that we would be approached or interacted with or he would get stepped on, very, very low. We want to the best of our ability, as often as possible, we want to set them up to be successful in the thing that we're asking them to do. Because the more successful repetitions that they have, the more easily they can perform these cues going forward. So notice well, I'm not sure how much you can see, but he started to wander. He's got himself sitting right off of the mat. So I have two options here because he understands this, right? I can either wait for him to self-correct and put himself back and then mark that, or I can simply ask him, Hudson, place? Yes, good boy, good boy. And now I gave him 2 treats for that one because I want him to really understand, hey, I appreciate that you went back there, you put yourself back there. I know that this is a challenge. It's hard for him. It's gotten a little bit busier. There's more activity, and I'm moving and talking, right? So again, we're basing our rate of reinforcement based off of the amount of challenge in any given moment. The last thing that I'll say to set yourself and your dog up for success, Hudson, be free, go fine. I highly, highly recommend getting something like a leash wrap or a cape or something that indicates that your dog is in training and that ignoring them and or giving them space would be very, very helpful for you. The reason that I say that is because, one, that's true. No touch, no talk, no eye contact is the one thing that Cesar Millan got right. Everything else, throw it out the window. But no touch, no talk, no eye contact sets them up for success because, similar to children, any attention is good attention. They're looking for engagement. They're looking for attention. So if we're sitting, we're at brunch, a waiter or a waitress comes over, people don't know what they don't know, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that that's visible. If I need to, I'm going to say, oh, we're actually working on training. Could you please ignore them? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're really helping make it easier for both of us. The other thing that I'm going to do is when those distractions are present, whether that is he put himself closer to me. Come here, please. Whether that's a wait staff person arriving or somebody delivering food, I'm going to be treating and rewarding in that moment. 2 reasons. One, I want to make sure that he understands that I am more rewarding, exciting, and engaging than anything else in the environment at all times. And 2, I'm proactively engaging him with me before that distraction arrives. So just last example, somebody's approaching, they have a table up, a tray full of stuff. I'm already treating and rewarding him, telling him he's doing a good job before they get to the table. So make sure you do all the parts of your training. You're teaching that cue, that foundation, and then to build on it, we are proofing. We're making sure that they can do this around distractions for a duration of time, even when the human is at a distance. And you see why it's necessary, because like I said, we've been working on this for a really long time. But the fact that I'm distracted, he's like, well, maybe I'll go over here. Let's see what happens. Because dogs are natural problem solvers. This is not him being a brat or misbehaving or anything like that. Get that out of your head. Dogs don't do that. This is him trying to problem solve and figure out what are we doing here? What gets me paid? What gets me rewarded? What gets me that attention? So we just want to make sure that we base our behavior, or we formulate our behavior in a way that sets them up for success, that communicates really clearly when they're on the right track, and that we properly incentivize them to do the things that it is that we want them to do. Hope that helps. If you have questions, let me know.